The signal. The void between stars held many secrets, but none quite like the one that found its way to the NSV horizon. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, watching distant stars blur past as her research vessel continued its routine survey mission in the outer rim. 20 years of deep space exploration had taught her to expect the unexpected, but nothing could have prepared her for what was about to happen. "Captain, we're picking up something strange," Lieutenant Marcus Wong called from his communication station. His dark eyes were fixed on the scrolling data before him, brow furrowed in concentration. Well, you should probably see this yourself." Chen made her way to his station, noting the unusual pattern of energy signatures on his display. "Source. That's the thing, Captain. It's coming from Sol. From Earth." The bridge fell silent. Earth, humanity's cradle, lost over 3 centuries ago, in what historians simply called the collapse. No one had heard anything from the birth world since then. Most believed it was nothing more than a radioactive wasteland. "Impossible." Dr. Aria Nash, the ship's xenorchaeologist, spoke up from her research station. "Earth's been dead for centuries. There's nothing left there to transmit anything." Chen raised her hand for silence, studying the signal pattern. It wasn't random static or background radiation. This was a structured transmission, encrypted in an ancient format she hadn't seen since her academy days. "Can you clean it up, Marcus?" Wong's fingers flew over his console. "Working on it. The encryption is unusual. It's using quantum-locked protocols that haven't been used since before the collapse. But there's something else. Something older." The main view screen flickered to life, displaying lines of decoded text that made Chen's blood run cold. "Final protocol activated. Earth Defense Network online. To all surviving human vessels. Your duoum is inevitable. Return home." "That's it?" Dr. Nash asked, her voice barely a whisper. "After 300 years, that's all Earth has to say." Chen straightened, her mind racing through possibilities. A trap, a malfunction in ancient systems, or something else entirely. "Run a full spectrum analysis. I want to know everything about this signal, source location, power signature, temporal markers, everything." As her crew worked, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they'd stumbled onto something far bigger than a simple distress call. The timing was too perfect, too precise. They were the first human ship to venture this close to the Sol system in decades, and suddenly Earth decides to wake up. "Captain," Wong called out, his voice tense. "There's more data embedded in the transmission. It's coordinates, and they're not pointing to Earth." The coordinates appeared on the main screen, indicating a location deep in what used to be called the Kuiper Belt. Along with them came another message. "Humanity's legacy awaits. He prove your worth, or join the EFAL 11. Time remaining. 72 HOURs. "Well," Chen said, a grim smile forming on her face, "looks like we've got ourselves a mystery. Plot a course for those coordinates. Full power to the quantum drive. Whatever's waiting for us out there, we've got 3 days to figure it out." "Captain," Dr. Nash interjected, "this could be extremely dangerous. We're a research vessel, not a warship. If this is some kind of trap, then we'll deal with it," Chen finished. "Humanity lost Earth once. If there's even a chance to understand what really happened, we owe it to our ancestors to try." As the horizon changed course, its quantum drives humming to life, Chen couldn't help but wonder what they would find. Earth's final message spoke of doom, yet offered coordinates to what it called humanity's legacy. It was a puzzle wrapped in a mystery, and they had 72 hours to solve it before what? The ship accelerated into quantum space, leaving behind the familiar stars of the outer rim. Whatever awaited them in the cold depths of humanity's home system, Chen knew one thing for certain. They were about to uncover secrets that had remained buried for 3 centuries. And something told her that Earth's message of doom wasn't just a warning, it was a challenge. A challenge that humanity's children would have to face, ready or not. Legacy of the Fallen. The NSV Horizon dropped out of quantum space at the edge of the Kuiper Belt, the vessel's sensors immediately scanning the surrounding area. The endless black of space seemed darker here, as if the very absence of light held secrets of its own. Captain Chen watched as her crew worked their stations with practiced efficiency, though she could sense their underlying tension. Multiple structures detected, Lieutenant Wang announced, his hands flying over his console. They're massive. Artificial construction. Definitely pre-collapse technology. But there's something odd about the energy signatures. Dr. Nash moved to join him, her eyes widening as she studied the readings. These aren't just structures. They're preservation vaults. The kind theoretical engineers used to dream about before the collapse. Perfect stasis fields, quantum-locked storage systems. This is incredible. The main view screen activated, showing a sprawling complex of interconnected stations and satellites, all orbiting what appeared to be a central facility the size of a small moon. The structures bore the unmistakable hallmarks of human engineering, but there was something else, something alien in their configuration. Life signs? Chen asked, though she already suspected the answer. None, Captain, Wang replied. But the power readings, they're off the charts. Whatever these facilities are, they're still running at full capacity after 3 centuries. The ship's AI spoke up for the first time since they'd arrived. Captain, I'm detecting a transmission from the central facility. It's using the same encryption as the Earth signal. Put it through. The message that appeared was different this time, more detailed. Humanity's TNGNCY Act. Pivated. KRETKER PRO2SOCOL in EFF. HFY. GENETDC verification required. AP Pro H Central Doc for STANing. Well, Chen said, straightening her uniform. Looks like we're expected. Take us in, Helm. Standard approach vector. As the horizon moved closer to the central facility, more details became visible. The structure wasn't just a station. It was a vast repository, its surface covered in what appeared to be massive data storage units and power collection arrays. This was no ordinary research station or military outpost. This was something else entirely. Captain, Dr. Nash called out, her voice trembling slightly. I'm reading quantum signatures consistent with temporal stasis fields. These facilities, they're preserving something big. Before Chen could respond, a beam of energy shot out from the central facility, scanning the horizon from bow to stern. The ship's systems flickered momentarily, then returned to normal. GNETDC verifcation complete. Human theory reviews on FIR immediately. UELCU omni home. HL Durayan of Earth. The massive docking bay doors began to open, revealing a cavernous interior large enough to house dozens of ships the horizon's size. As they maneuvered inside, Chen couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched, evaluated. Dr. Nash, Chen called out, you're with me. Lieutenant Wang, maintain ship readiness. If anything feels wrong, get out of here and send word to command. The docking procedure completed with suspicious ease, as if the ancient facility remembered exactly how to handle human vessels. As Chen and Nash made their way to the airlock, accompanied by a small security team, the facility's internal systems came to life around them. The moment they stepped onto the station, holographic interfaces sprang to life, illuminating corridors that seemed to stretch for kilometers in every direction. But it was the wall of text that appeared before them that caught their attention. Project CTLEJCY. Humanity's FINAL CONTINGNC. HFY Sci-Fi. Beyond Omega. Way our nang. What you are able to learn. Whales CHANGEVUI. Katie. Captain, Nash whispered, her archaeological training forgotten in the face of such discovery. I don't think this is just a preservation facility. This is something more, something our ancestors left behind for us to find. Chen nodded, her eyes fixed on the scrolling data before them. Not just left behind, Doctor. They were waiting for us. The question is, why now? Why send that warning about doom when we're finally ready to receive whatever legacy they preserved here? The facility's AI responded to her words, its voice carrying both warmth and warning. Because, Captain Chen, the time has come for humanity to face its greatest trial. What lies within these walls is not just knowledge or technology. It is the truth about Earth's fall, and the key to preventing history from repeating itself. The holographic displays shifted, showing images that made the entire team gasp. Earth, but not as they knew it from historical records. Earth as it was before the collapse, its surface covered not just in cities, but in massive structures that defied current engineering understanding. Your ancestors, the AI continued, achieved things your history has forgotten. They reached heights of technological advancement that your current civilization can barely comprehend. But with that power came a price that all advanced civilizations must eventually pay. What price? Chen asked, though part of her dreaded the answer. The attention of those who watch, those who wait, those who judge whether a species deserves to exist. The AI's voice grew solemn. Your ancestors made a choice, Captain. A choice that saved humanity but doomed Earth. And now, 3 centuries later, that choice has led you here, because the Watchers have returned, and this time, they're coming for all of humanity. The truth about Earth's fate was about to be revealed, and with it, the real meaning behind the warning. Your doom is inevitable. But as Chen was about to discover, doom wasn't a prediction. It was a challenge. A challenge that humanity's ancestors had spent 3 centuries preparing their descendants to face. The Guardian's trial. The holographic chamber within the ancient facility hummed with power as Captain Chen and her team stood surrounded by images of humanity's forgotten past. The AI's revelation about Earth's fate had left them stunned. But there was no time to process the implications. A timer had appeared in the air before them, counting down, 48 hours remaining. Your ancestors knew this moment would come. The facility's AI continued, its form materializing as a shifting constellation of stars in roughly humanoid shape. They knew their descendants would need to be tested before receiving the full legacy. I am the Guardian, and I will oversee your trials. Dr. Nash stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overcoming her caution. Tests. What kind of tests? The Guardian's form rippled, expanding to fill the chamber with points of light. 3 trials, each designed to prove humanity has evolved beyond the failings that led to Earth's sacrifice. You must demonstrate wisdom, courage, and understanding beyond what your ancestors possessed. And if we fail? Chen asked, though she suspected she knew the answer. Then the legacy dies with you, and humanity faces the Watchers unprepared. The Guardian's voice carried the weight of centuries. The first trial begins now. The chamber transformed around them, the holographic display creating a perfect simulation of an alien cityscape. Strange architecture reached toward an orange sky, while creatures that defied description moved through the streets below. This is no simulation, the Guardian announced. What you see is real-time data from the Proxima colony. In exactly 6 hours, a quantum surge will destroy it completely. You have the power to prevent this, but doing so will alert the Watchers to humanity's technological advancement. Choose. Chen felt her blood run cold. The Proxima colony, over 10,000 souls, mostly non-human species who had created a thriving civilization on the edge of explored space. How can we prevent it? The facility's quantum arrays can deflect the surge, but using them will reveal capabilities that your ancestors died to keep hidden. This is your test of wisdom, Captain. What matters more, the lives before you, or the secret that protects your entire species? The crew looked to Chen, their faces showing the same moral struggle she felt. Save thousands now, or protect billions later. This was the kind of choice that had faced humanity before the collapse. There has to be another way, Chen said, her mind racing. Guardian, you said this is real-time data. The facility's systems, can they analyze the quantum surges pattern? They can, the Guardian confirmed, a note of interest in its artificial voice. Then we don't need to use the quantum arrays. We can send a warning, encoded in normal communication frequencies. Make it look like a routine solar flare advisory. Chen turned to Wang. Lieutenant, can you do it? Wang's fingers were already flying over his portable console. Yes, Captain. Making it look completely ordinary, just another day of space weather monitoring. Interesting, the Guardian commented as Wang worked. You choose to save lives without revealing your hand. But consider, what if the warning is ignored? What if they don't evacuate in time? Then we'll have tried our best without compromising humanity's future, Chen replied firmly. Sometimes the best solution isn't the most powerful one. It's the one that creates the least ripples. The Guardian's form shifted, condensing into a more defined shape. Trial 1. Completed. You have demonstrated wisdom not by choosing between two bad options, but by finding a third path. Your ancestors often failed to see beyond the obvious choices before them. The holographic chamber shifted again, this time revealing a massive storage vault. Physical, not holographic. Real technology preserved from Earth's final days. The second trial awaits. You must face humanity's greatest mistake and choose whether to repeat it. Inside the vault, suspended in a stasis field, was a device that made Dr. Nash gasp in recognition. That's impossible. The Infinity Engine. It was supposed to be theoretical. Your ancestors built it, the Guardian confirmed. The power to rewrite the laws of physics within a localized space. The power that drew the Watcher's attention in the first place. Now you must decide. Will you use it to defend against them, knowing it will only prove their fears correct? Chen stared at the device, understanding dawning in her eyes. That's what happened to Earth, isn't it? They used this to fight the Watchers. No, Captain. They used it to hide humanity's potential, to make Earth appear dead while preserving their legacy in places like this. They chose to sacrifice their world to save their species. And now you face a similar choice. The Infinity Engine hummed in its stasis field, promising power beyond imagination. But Chen remembered the wisdom of the first trial. Sometimes, the greatest power lies in choosing not to use it. What exactly are these Watchers? She asked. Why do they judge civilizations this way? The Guardian's form pulsed with what might have been approval. That, Captain, is exactly the right question. Your second trial isn't about the engine at all. It's about understanding why it was hidden. Shall I show you what your ancestors discovered about the Watchers? As the chamber prepared to reveal another truth, Chen realized that each trial was teaching them something vital. The first had shown them wisdom in restraint. The second was about to reveal the true nature of their judges. And the third would likely determine the fate of humanity itself. The countdown continued, 47 hours until they faced whatever doom Earth had warned them about. But Chen was beginning to suspect that doom wasn't what it appeared to be. Perhaps it wasn't a threat at all, but a final test, one that humanity's children would have to face to reclaim their birthright. The truth of the Watchers. The holographic chamber darkened, and the Guardian's form expanded into a vast starscape. Pinpoints of light flickered and died across the display, each representing a civilization that had risen and fallen across the cosmos. Captain Chen and her crew watched in silence as entire species histories played out before them in accelerated time. The Watchers are not what humanity first believed, the Guardian began, its voice resonating through the chamber. They are not conquerors or destroyers. They are what remains of the first ones, The original spacefaring civilization that seeded the galaxy with life. Dr. Nash stepped closer to one of the dying stars. You mean they created us? No, the Guardian corrected. They created the conditions for life to evolve naturally. But they learned a harsh truth that advanced civilizations often follow a pattern that leads to their own destruction. The Watchers believe they must intervene to prevent the pattern from repeating. The display shifted to show Earth in its final days, but from a new perspective. The massive structures weren't weapons or defenses. They were monuments to human achievement. Quantum computers that could simulate entire universes, matter manipulators that could restructure reality, power sources that could harness the energy of stars. Your ancestors discovered something the Watchers never expected. The Guardian continued. They found a flaw in the pattern, a way to break the cycle of destruction. But proving it required a sacrifice so great that even the Watchers would believe humanity had fallen. Lieutenant Wong's eyes widened in realization. Earth wasn't destroyed. It was hidden. The whole thing was staged. Precisely, the Guardian confirmed. Your ancestors used the Infinity Engine not to fight, but to create the ultimate illusion. They made Earth appear to be a radioactive wasteland, while preserving their greatest achievements in facilities like this one. But more importantly, they preserved the proof that would challenge the Watchers' fundamental beliefs. Captain Chen watched as the holographic display showed the true Earth, hidden behind layers of quantum deception. What proof? That advancement doesn't have to lead to destruction. That wisdom can come before power. That a species can choose to appear weak even when they are strong. The Guardian's form coalesced into a more solid shape. Your first 2 trials proved you understand these principles. Now comes the 3rd trial, the one your ancestors prepared for centuries. The chamber walls dissolved, revealing the true scale of the facility. It wasn't just a storage vault or research station. It was a nexus point, connected to thousands of similar facilities hidden throughout human space. The Watchers returned to judge each civilization when they reach a certain level of advancement. The Guardian explained. Humanity is approaching that threshold again. But this time, you have a choice. You can reveal the truth about Earth and challenge the Watchers' assumptions, or you can maintain the deception and continue to develop in secret. What happens if we reveal the truth? Chen asked, though she was beginning to understand the grand design behind it all. War, the Guardian stated simply. The Watchers will not easily accept that their fundamental mission might be flawed. But it will be a war fought with ideas and evidence, not weapons. Your ancestors believed that humanity's greatest strength wasn't its technology, but its ability to find another way. The timer continued its countdown, 24 hours remaining. In one day, the Watchers would arrive, expecting to find a civilization on the brink of self-destruction. Instead, they would find the children of Earth, armed not with weapons, but with proof that the cycle could be broken. Your final trial, the Guardian announced, is to prepare humanity's defense. Not with the Infinity Engine or quantum arrays, but with the evidence your ancestors gathered. You must prove that advancement without destruction is possible, that wisdom can temper power, that humanity deserves not just to survive, but to help reshape the galaxy's future. Captain Chen looked at her crew, seeing the weight of understanding in their eyes. This wasn't just about saving humanity. It was about saving every civilization that would follow. The doom Earth had warned about wasn't destruction, but the moment of truth when humanity would have to stand and defend not just its right to exist, but its vision for a different kind of future. Show us everything, Chen commanded. We have 24 hours to prepare humanity's case to the cosmos. And this time, we won't hide who we are. The Guardian's form brightened with what might have been pride. Then let me show you what your ancestors discovered. The truth that was worth sacrificing Earth to preserve. The truth that the Watchers fear more than any weapon. That evolution doesn't have to end in destruction. It can lead to transformation. As the final revelations began to unfold, Chen realized that humanity's greatest test wouldn't be fought with weapons or technology. It would be one with the very qualities that had allowed them to pass the trials: wisdom, understanding, and the courage to find another way. The doom Earth warned of wasn't an ending, but a beginning. Humanity's chance to prove that the galaxy's future could be different from its past. Humanity's return. The final hour approached as Captain Chen and her crew made their preparations within the ancient facility. The countdown timer pulsed steadily. 60 minutes remaining. They had spent the last day absorbing centuries of hidden knowledge, understanding the true scope of their ancestors' plan, and preparing for the moment that would change the course of galactic history. Multiple quantum distortions detected. Lieutenant Wang announced from his station. The Watchers are arriving. The facility's holographic displays showed massive ships emerging from fold space, vessels that defied conventional physics, their forms shifting and changing as they moved. The Watchers had arrived to judge humanity's progress, expecting to find another civilization on the brink of self-destruction. "Are we ready?" Chen asked, looking at her crew. Each of them had spent the last day preparing for their roles in what was to come. Dr. Nash nodded, standing before the massive data archive they had organized. "Everything is in place, Captain. 300 years of evidence, ready to be presented." The Guardian's form materialized beside them, its starlit shape more defined than before. The Watchers are hailing the facility. They know this is a nexus of human technology. They expect to find proof of humanity's descent into chaos. "Then let's give them something else entirely," Chen said, straightening her uniform. "Open the channel." The chamber transformed, creating a vast conference space. The forms of the Watchers appeared, beings of pure energy and thought, their presence both beautiful and terrifying. Their voices spoke in unison, resonating through reality itself. "Chi Duran of Earth, UAAV or EAC, VETH or ES we come to YTNESS your PROGURISON. To GVG your WORThy AI and EST. To PREVNTV and EVITARIAL." Chen stepped forward, her voice steady. "We welcome you, Watchers, but we're not here to be judged. We're here to show you something your eons of observation have missed." The Watchers' forms flickered with what might have been surprise. "You dare to CHALENG the CYCLE. All civilizations follow the HEPATTRN. All advance until they destroy themselves. It is inevitable." "No," Chen replied, gesturing to Dr. Nash. "It's a choice, and 300 years ago, humanity made a different one." The archive data began to play, showing not just Earth's final days, but the true story behind them. The Watchers watched as humanity, at the height of its power, chose to appear weak, chose to hide its advancement not out of fear, but out of wisdom. "Your pattern assumes that power corrupts inevitably," Chen continued. "That advanced civilizations will always choose destruction. But look at what humanity did when it had the power to challenge you directly." The displays showed the truth about Earth, not a radioactive wasteland, but a world transformed, hidden behind quantum veils. A civilization that had reached the peak of technological achievement and chosen to step back, to preserve its knowledge until its descendants could prove a different path was possible. "Impossible," the Watchers declared, but there was uncertainty in their unified voice. The PATKRNKNNO2B broke in. "It already has been," Dr. Nash interjected, bringing up new data. "Look at human colonies across space. Each time we approached the threshold of advanced technology, we chose limitation. Not because we had to, but because we understood what our ancestors discovered. That true advancement isn't about power. It's about wisdom." The Guardian stepped forward, its form now fully crystallized. "The children of Earth have passed every trial. They faced power and chose restraint. They encountered danger and chose understanding. They had the means for war and chose to wage peace." The Watchers' forms swirled in agitation. "This changes EVERYTHing. If the pattern can be broken, then your mission needs to change, Chen finished. Instead of waiting to prevent destruction, you could help guide civilizations toward wisdom. Earth didn't die. It transformed. And now humanity offers you the chance to transform as well. Silence filled the chamber as the Watchers absorbed the truth. Centuries of certainty confronted by proof that their fundamental assumptions were wrong. When they spoke again, their voice was different, less unified, more questioning. UOFFERNALTRNATV. But WATGUARNTEEEXISTs they aid other civilizations. Whale choose das path. Chen smiled. None. That's the point. There are no guarantees, only choices, and we're choosing to reveal ourselves now, to share what we've learned, not just with you, but with every civilization approaching the threshold. The final pieces of humanity's long plan fell into place. The hidden facilities across space activated, revealing themselves. Earth's quantum veil began to dissolve, showing the true face of humanity's homeworld, not destroyed, but transformed into something new. This was never about proving you wrong, Chen said to the Watchers. It was about proving that evolution doesn't have to end in destruction, that consciousness can grow without consuming itself, that wisdom can temper power. The Watchers' forms began to change, their unified presence separating into distinct entities. Perhaps we have more to learn. Perhaps the ECYCLE of observation and JUDG should be one of guidance and growth. The timer that had counted down humanity's doom reached zero, but instead of destruction, it marked a beginning. The Guardian's form blazed with light as ancient systems activated across human space, revealing the true extent of humanity's achievement. Not in weapons or power, but in the choice to find another way. Welcome, Chen said to the Watchers, to the next stage of evolution, not just for humanity, but for all of us. As Earth's quantum veil fully dissolved, revealing a world transformed by centuries of hidden development, the crew of the NSV Horizon stood witness to the moment their ancestors had spent 300 years preparing for. Humanity had faced its doom not with weapons or power, but with the one thing the Watchers had never expected: the wisdom to choose a different path. The message that had started their journey, "Your doom is inevitable," had never been a warning. It had been a promise that humanity would inevitably face this moment of truth. And when that moment came, they had proven that doom wasn't the only possible outcome of advancement. The future that opened before them wasn't just for humanity, but for every species that would follow. The cycle was broken, and in its place, a new pattern could emerge, one of wisdom, growth, and transformation. The final trial was complete, and humanity had done more than survive. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward.